Namaste, Jai Bharat. After capturing the Venezuelan president, what kind of a thing? Just go to someone's nation, get into the place where this man sleeps, send task forces, capturing, killing the so called guards. Well, poor guards. Was not even able to do their job, duty. Then pick him up and airlift him to America and make him prisoner in a humiliating manner. And these people appear both wife and husband with injuries on their body. Did some soldier hit them for pleasure? We don't know. That man is not God, that we know. He must have made his mistakes and he has his follies. That also is granted. But the sheer act of, uh, of hooliganism was performed. And that man is now in America, some jail, somewhere, etc. We are not concerned actually because it's not directly affecting us, but in principle, that was a very dumb act. The same Trump suddenly shifts his fancy to a different direction, that is to. Now, Venezuela was attacked because primarily for oil, to capture their oil, etc. He wants to control their oil. And now it is shifted to Greenland, under Denmark actually, part of them. And he says, I want Greenland. Look, this is something like someone who's sitting above the clouds to say that I want this. I want you to sacrifice your sons. But that's a story from Bible. Well, you go and sacrifice your sons to the God. Or no. This is something like that. I want that land. And then he makes a very generous offer. I'll pay you money. If you want, you take the money, or I take your land. That's it. Now, European Union, they were having a comfortable existence because the NATO forces, these NATO alliances, this is an old fear they have after the European War too. They wanted to believe in security. They wanted to have security. So they wanted themselves to secure by being together. And America wanted to hold the huge umbrella above their head. And they had these forces, etc., where the European Unions individually were spending much less. And America was spending considerably. Well, they spend because they wanted to be the boss. They wanted to control the things. Naturally, they have to pay for it. That's how European Union functions. Other hand, the European Union was supposed to have been spending their revenue for welfare means, which is a noble thing if it is the case in reality. Now, this act or this demand of US actually disturbs Europe. They, with all the domination of America, America is not Europe. Well, geographically, not Europe. They are from a far place just because of their sheer wealth and military might. This Europe was getting advantage of America, and America was always taking advantage of Europe because America wants vassals. America wants subalterns only. They don't have equal partners. They don't want equal partners. That had been the case throughout. They don't want to deal in equal terms. They say, but they don't do. And Europe didn't bother about that much. They were worried about their own comfort and no risk for them. There was no threat for them, etc. They were comfortable. And so they didn't mind America's domination, but America had to pay for dominating them. That part Europe was clever. They were not spending much. America, instead of to show, they were spending much. But these, of late, the actions of US make the Europeans unhappy. The European Union might not listen to America in totality. There were disagreements, at least in their minds, though they have not discussed among themselves in an explicit manner. Possibly a disgruntled thought system is obviously developing in Europe because everyone wants their own sovereignty. Everyone wants self-respect. Nobody wants anyone to come to your house and dictate terms and conditions. You do this, you do that. Well, that is unacceptable to anyone, especially the year is 2026. You cannot go back to barbaric ways which they used to be in the past. So there is a possibility of unhappiness among the European Union, and some people spoke at times implicitly and very rarely at least explicitly. Many people must have expressed their displeasure. If you go back, you can see instance of such expressions of unhappiness with this kind of domination, which is nothing less than bullying and dictation of terms and conditions. Well, this would march. Because of this, the world can march faster towards a bipolar world. Sorry, towards a multipolar world. This at least is now the world is behaving like a unipolar one, but then the multipolarness is not very far flung because of such activities. And the superpower story is not going to last forever. They have internal problems, they have debts. With all those things and the blotted up ego, very boisterous kind of thing. Well, all this thing indicates towards a multipolar world which should be a reasonable world. Well, like Hegel once said in his philosophy, each citizen having his own stations and discharging his duty to the society most effectively from his own station. Well, that could be a better world. Let's hope things will get settled. European Union would not listen blindly to America anymore. Let's hope so. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.